listening to the home of cool, irreverent, and entertaining talk. Right here on LA Talk Radio. You're listening to The Art of Love with your host, Lucia. Right here on LA Talk Radio.
Welcome to The Art of Love. My name is Lucia. I'm your host and a dating and relationship expert, and I'm here to entertain, educate, and enlighten you about love, dating, and relationships. Take your live calls, answer your emails, and speak to authors of books which I find interesting. Today's going to be a bit of a different show because you're used to usually me interviewing an author and that's it. Well, I will be interviewing an author, and that author will be me. I'm going to interview myself. So tell me, Lucia, how did you write this book? But no, I won't be talking to myself. I actually have someone in here, a great friend of mine, Miss Kimbra. Say hello, Miss Kimbra.
Hello, Miss Lucia.
And she's going to be picking questions from my book that she wants me to answer. Of course, my book is Lucia's Lessons of Love. An expert answers the most asked dating and relationship questions. I call it the Love Manual. It's a Q&A. I ask a question and I answer it. So we're going to do that. But before we get to that, I actually have a caller. Once in a while, I'll have a caller. I'm excited about that. And it is Kim from Florida. So we're going to help her with her issue. Oh, and by the way, happy Father's Day, everybody.
Everyone's got a father somewhere.
Yes, hopefully. Okay, so Kim, how are you doing?
Yes, I'm doing fine. How are you doing?
Wonderful. Happy Father's Day.
Yes, to you too.
Okay, so let me read your email, and then we're going to help you figure this out.
Good.
Okay. You said, I'm an attractive, independent, professional 48-year-old woman who is frequently pursued by much younger men, usually early to mid-20s. Well, I have some experience with that, luckily.
Yes. Okay.
The problem is I'm looking for a committed, exclusive relationship. Age is not an issue for me. The dating usually does not progress to a long-term relationship, and later I discover they have committed to a long-term relationship with someone closer to their age. How dare they? Needless to say, I'm frequently heartbroken. Should I give up on these younger men for a serious, successful relationship? Okay, so since you wrote this to me a while back, has anything changed?
No.
Okay. All right.
I'm still very frustrated, and yes, I do end up heartbroken.
Oh, we don't want that.
I do.
All right, we're going to start that right now. Okay, so here's the thing. Yeah, I know these guys in their early 20s, and they're the more bolder, and so they have no problem going up to older women, and also because they're not trying to get married, usually under 25.
Okay, well, some of them actually do say they are, which is confusing, and then I think, well, okay, there's potential here.
Well, of course they're going to say they are.
Right. Or maybe they're just saying that.
Yeah, and you know what? Even if they say they are, they're still too young. Even if they do end up getting married, more likely than not, they're going to get divorced because the divorce rate for guys under 25 is like 80%. Also their prefrontal cortex, the front part of their brain that teaches how to make decisions, is not even fully developed until they're 25. So you really, sure, you want to have a fling with them, have a friendship, a lover, whatever. But, honestly, do not take them seriously.
Okay.
They're listening now. They're like,
maybe
what?
That's where I'm getting myself into trouble there. I'm expecting more than they're capable of doing.
Now, having said that, there on occasion, of course, there is the exception. I had a 19-year-old guy write to me, and he was dating a woman in her 40s, and he was like gung-ho. It's like he wanted to become financially successful. He wanted to support her. He wanted to marry her.
Wow.
Yeah, at 19. But this is, of course, a very mature guy. That doesn't happen very often. So, more often than not, if you're looking for a serious relationship, stay away from under 25 and possibly under 30, depending on the area. Unless, and the one exception I have to say is unless they're from another country, European or South America or something, because men from other cultures, they tend to mature faster. Don't you agree, Kimbra?
I totally agree with that, especially European men. They and probably from Latin America as well. There's something about growing up in those traditional cultures where they seem to relate to and respect women, older women, a lot more, and they're just more mature.
Yeah, you might want to lift up.
Okay, you bring up a good point. I was just dating a from island of Dominica, a man who's 23, and he has a 4-year-old, and he's in the process of a divorce. So I did think he was more mature and capable, but he's with somebody his own age now, which broke my heart.
Well, no, don't let it break your heart. Just make smarter choices. And also, if you want to be in a committed relationship, you shouldn't make a commitment to just one guy until that person is giving you what you want. So if the person is not committing to you, then why are you committing to them? It's like signing a one-sided contract.
Exactly.
Right.
Because it's no longer 1950, luckily, and so it's not like you're going to date someone and then automatically get married. It's like you don't know who you're going to get married. So until if you want marriage, until marriage is on the table, then you're free to date who you want. But a lot of guys, they want to lock you up, especially the young guys. They think it's not a two-way street. That I'm young, so I still want to play around, and I still want to date. But okay, you're older, so you got to wait for me. It's like, hell no, I'm not waiting.
Definitely.
Right. Well, even if they are saying that their relationship is exclusive, something will happen. We'll have an argument, and that's where the immaturity comes, and they'll bail or like, okay, this is too difficult. And I'm left frustrated because I'm still trying to work it out with them, and they're already moved on to somebody else.
Right. So, I mean, I would be super cautious about being committed with anybody under 25. I mean, until they totally prove themselves, But if they've proven themselves, and plus, especially because guys, they generally don't want to get married until they're financially stable. So if by chance you happen to meet a rich guy under 25,
send him our way.
Just send him this way.
That's definitely true because
a
guy wants to feel ready, financially stable before he gets into a committed relationship.
Absolutely. So if by chance you meet someone in that way that is financially stable and has their career going, then fine. Mm-hmm. Then you might make an exception. But the normal under 25-year-old guy, it's like red flag up ahead.
All right. They just emotionally don't have it together either.
Yeah, they don't know how to handle conflict.
And that's why I run into problems, right?
Yeah, I mean, of course it's very flattering because, hey, I got this hot 21. I mean, I get approached by 21, 23.
And they're very aggressive, too, right?
Right, and that's fine.
Pursuing.
Exactly. So, you know what, let them pursue. And if you, like I said, if you want to have fun, whatever, have sex or friendship, go ahead. But do not for 1 minute think it's going to turn serious.
Okay. Well, I need to change my expectations then. That's what it sounds like.
Well, also, and don't have any expectation. I mean, the expectation is you want a commitment, yes, but don't think it's any one person, because once you see someone, even if it's someone older, over 30, whatever, and you go, okay, he's the one. It's like you don't know if he's the one, but once you put him up on this pedestal, if he's the one, then you'll make excuses for bad behavior.
This is true.
Right.
So you just got to
And I've done that.
We all have. So you just think of the guys coming in your life. They're all ships just passing through unless they're willing to stay. But you can't make them stay. It's like if they want to stay, it's because they decide to stay.
Okay.
All right.
And they are very unpredictable. I mean, you think things are going along fine, and then all of a sudden a bump in the road, and they're acting irrationally, or they just give up. And that's very frustrating.
That's what you're like when you're under 25. I remember I was dating this one guy. He was so nice to me, and then I met someone else. I'm like, okay, I'm done. I don't want to see you anymore. I met someone else.
You get over things very quickly when you're young.
Really, really fast. It's like on to the next. So I don't want you to be heartbroken anymore.
Oh, well, thank you very much. That's very sweet of you. Yeah.
Okay.
But you're right. I need to give that more thought and reconsider my expectations and not have expectations, I suppose, other than exclusivity if they're willing to do that. But
right.
Just have fun.
Yeah, so regroup and then write me back in a few months and let me know how it's going.
Okay, I will do that.
Okay, well, thank you so much for calling in.
Thank you very much, too. And I love your show. I enjoy you.
Thank you so much. Thanks for listening.
You're welcome.
Bye.
Okay. Bye.
Bye. All right, Miss Kimbra. Now, what do you want to ask me from my book?
Oh, my gosh. Well, I'm looking through your book right now. And, okay, I've got one for you here. What are the reasons men don't ask a woman out even if they seem interested? I want to know.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I've been approached a few times.
We all have. And what question is that? What page is that on?
I'm so sorry. That's page 41.
Let me read from my book.
Please do.
Because I can't remember everything I wrote. Well, he may be interested, but there's, several reasons. I mean, he might already have a girlfriend or be involved.
That's true.
And
could be just flirting, right?
Yeah, maybe he just gets an ego boost of the fact that you're interested, but he knows he can't go any further. Maybe he's gay.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe he's afraid of being rejected.
This is true, too.
This is huge because, as women, we're not used to going up to guys, so we don't have this fear of rejection. But for guys, it's big because if they go up to women all the time and they keep getting rejected, at some point they're like, oh, I don't know if it's worth trying to go out with her. So what actually you need to be aware of is the guys that aren't afraid of rejection, the guys that actually come up to you. Usually they're players or jerks, and they're so suave and smooth because they do it all the time, so they don't have a problem coming up to women. Right. I was approached actually just last night by a guy who ended up being a pickup artist, and I outed him.
Well, how did you discover he was a pickup artist?
Well, he did. You can't play a player. He didn't know who he was dealing with. He started talking to me, and he came up to me, big smile, very friendly. Hi. I'm like, hi. And he goes, oh, yeah, wow, I've never seen you here before, blah, blah, blah. And you look like a movie star. I'm like, oh, thank you. And, it starts with the flattery.
Right.
And, and then we start talking, and he's like, well, I'd really like to see you again sometime. Can I get your number? Or, no, I don't think he said, can I get your number? Because that's not how they do it. They go, give me your number. It's like a command.
Right.
They're taught to, give you a command so that you automatically respond with, okay, here's my number. So he flips open his phone, and I looked at his phone, and I was almost going to give him like my usual voicemail number, which I give to guys who I don't want to talk to. But then I remembered that I gave my number to someone a couple of weeks ago, and that I never, responded to his calls, and he got upset. So I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to stop giving my number to people if I'm not interested.
Yeah.
And so I looked at his phone, and I'm like, no. And so then he tried another approach, which was he tried a little game. I don't know if you ever saw that show on VH1 with Mystery, the pickup artist. He was showing guys what to do. Anyways, so they say, play a little game. So he puts his hands out, and he's like, okay, put your hands out. And as soon as he did that, I'm like, aha, I know what he's up to. And so I said, you're a pickup artist. He was like, what? So any guy that's way too smooth.
Right. I call him Rico Suave.
Exactly. Probably 9 times out of 10, maybe 10 out of 10. It's because they do it so often. They approach so many women. They're players. Why would they be afraid to approach anyone? Yeah,
you're just a number.
Exactly. Whereas the regular guy, he might be a little afraid. He might be not as smooth, and that's the guy you want.
Right.
So there's your answer to that one. So how about another question?
Okay.
I'm letting you pick the questions.
Okay. I got a good one for you. Page 50. Why is it not a good idea to compliment a woman when you first meet her? Because I personally like some compliments, like at least one, just to let you know that they find you attractive.
Right. But here's the thing. How do you know they're being sincere? They might just be saying it just to say it.
Because I'm pretty good at reading people. I use my acting skills.
But here's the thing. When you are, you don't know anything about this woman. First of all, let's talk about super attractive women. Of course,
Sure.
You're very attractive.
Thank you very much.
They get approached all the time, and they get told they're beautiful all the time.
Right.
So going up to a beautiful woman and going, oh, you're so beautiful, it's like, yeah, I know. I mean, they're thinking that, but it's like, you know what? I hear this all the time. So you don't stand out from the other guys. Now it's like you're just another schmuck who is taken by her beauty.
I like something creative, though. It doesn't have to be that kind of what you just said, that very straightforward. I like something a little bit more that they notice something about me that seems genuine and pick it out, maybe say it. Not something so blatant like that, oh, you're very beautiful.
Right. Or if they don't start off with that, it's better. If they just start talking blah, blah,
exactly.
blah.
Definitely. And then bring it in somewhere into the conversation.
Yes, but otherwise, 9 times out of 10, the guys go up to someone, they're like, I just wanted to tell you I think you're so beautiful.
Yeah.
And then what's she supposed to say? Okay, thank you. End of conversation.
Yeah.
But also it's because, let me read what I wrote. When you compliment a woman you've just met on her looks, it's usually because you're trying to get her to become interested in you. This has the opposite effect and ends up lowering her interest level. Women, especially attractive women, are used to getting compliments all the time. In fact, they expect them. By mentioning her physical beauty so soon, you're not setting yourself apart from other men, as I already said. You end up coming across as average, and neither men nor women want to date average. It also makes you appear to be out of her league. If you were used to only dating attractive women, her looks wouldn't be such a big deal to you. You wouldn't need to bring it up right away. If you want to give a compliment, give it for something else, such as her wit or her laugh, which is kind of what you said. Yeah? So that's my answer to that. Because I know guys think, okay, I'll just go up to her and I'll tell her she's beautiful and then she'll give me her number. It's like, yeah, doesn't quite work that way.
Got to work a little harder than that. Let's see. Do you want me to ask you another one, or?
No, we'll just sit here and stare at each other.
Okay. How do I know when I'm ready to get married?
Oh, well, when you have a ring on your finger, you're ready to get married. No. What question? What's the page?
Page 52.
I mean, I know what the answer is. Obviously, I wrote the book.
Right.
But I want to make sure I don't miss anything. So everyone has this idea, this fairy tale idea of marriage, like, oh, marriage, la la la, happily ever after, blah, blah, blah. Meanwhile, what it really is about is you have to think of another person as much as yourself, and sometimes put that other person first. And so until you're at that stage in your development of maturity, it's not going to work out. If it's always just about you, then you're not ready to get married. But when you look forward to giving and are willing to be there for your partner no matter what, then you're ready. You take care of them and they take care of you.
Exactly.
You feel blessed to have that person in your life. And, you do what you can to make their life easier. They do what they can to make your life easier. And so if both people are thinking like that, then that's a marriage made in heaven.
Good point. I like that about the easier part. People forget that. It's not just about, sex. It's not just about having kids. It's about making your life, it's an enhancement to your life,
Yeah, otherwise if he's going to make your life harder, why get married? So that's why just even the little things too, like bringing your partner coffee in the morning or whatever, or picking up the dry cleaning, or just you do what you can to make their life easier. So a marriage like that, it wouldn't fall apart. But that's how divorce starts to come, because people start thinking of themselves. They're not trying to make their partner's life better, and before you know it, it's a spiral downward. And
lots of times there's a giver and there's a taker, and when, people forget it's got to be a mutual thing.
Right.
For it to work, or that's the way it should be anyway.
Yeah, it's supposed to be an enhancement of your life. It's like a partner, a life partner that has your back, unlike Jesse James.
Right.
That cad.
Right, I like that. That's good.
I know. Now, we were talking about something interesting earlier.
Yes. You're not going to embarrass me now, are you?
Of course I will. No. She has a K necklace. I have an L necklace. You have a K necklace.
Didn't you give this to me? No,
did I?
No, I don't know.
Yeah, I give all my friends their letter.
Yeah.
Like in the 50s, the letter on the jacket.
Yeah, right.
Like anyone knows what we're talking about. Like I was around in the 50s.
Yeah, you were. What are you talking about? Your mom was around in the 50s.
Yes. Okay, do you want to go ahead and talk about what we were talking about?
We were talking about a few things, but I think we were...
You know what I'm talking about. Well, don't even.
We said the sex. Okay, so the exact question was, refresh my memory.
Well, okay, we were saying that once you have sex,
all right,
even though the guy looks like Bigfoot,
right, exactly,
you get attached.
Yes, this is true. And should we try? You took it one step further. You said, should women try to date multiple people at the same time and possibly have multiple sex partners? Would you still feel the same way? Would we possibly be able to break through that of just getting attached to one person? And we said we both would like to try.
But right now we won't.
We won't.
We're trying to be good.
We're good girls. But yeah, you brought up a good point, because I've never personally done that. And I was saying to you, as much as in my mind, intellectually, I like to be a playa, I'm not. It's like once I have, become romantically involved with someone.
You mean sexually involved?
In the biblical sense.
You go to church together?
Yes, we do. We go to church. And we do confession, as I at one time was a very good Catholic girl. But
me too.
Anyway, but my point is, once I do have sex with someone, I can't. be with anyone else. It's terrible.
I know
I hate it.
I know. That's
terrible.
so bad.
I know, it's the worst thing that could happen to a girl. It's the worst.
It's bad for women because then you're screwed.
Yeah,
literally and figuratively.
Yeah. Like I was saying, they could be Charles Manson, and boom, look what happened to Charles Manson.
So that's why we were saying. So I said, I wonder if a woman were to have sex with three different men, not at the same time.
Right. But they could do that too, but
yes.
you weren't condoning that.
Whether would she be equally attached to all three, or would it be divided up 100%, like 30%, 30%, 30%?
Right, and then you were asking me, would you like one person more than the other?
Right.
Because now you're you're being romantically involved with three different men, and would you like one more than the other?
Right. And also, or because you have three, does that mean it would help you to not bond with any of them?
Exactly. And I was saying I've never done this, and you said you've never done this, and you said but you might want to try it. You were thinking about it. Because
but not now.
It's all for the book,
Of course. It's all in the name of research.
Exactly. Like I said, you're going to be Samantha, like in Sex and the City.
I would like to try it, but I never found three guys that I wanted to have sex with at the same time. That's the problem.
I feel, and I could be wrong, that women are a little more picky than men. I do feel that as well. I'm extremely picky, believe it or not, when it comes to getting romantically involved with someone. And not just physical, it has to be mental and all that other good stuff too.
Right.
Make me laugh.
Yeah.
Et cetera, et cetera.
So I wonder. I hope I can find someone who actually has sex with multiple men at the same time.
You want someone to call in and see?
Yeah, well, either call in or at some point someone writes in, or I just somehow find that person to talk to them, to ask them, because that would be interesting.
Because I do actually have a friend that she is like that. She is able to be like, quote, like a guy and have sex with several different people. Mm-hmm. And usually she does end up liking one more than the other.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean she's committed to that one. She won't really commit to them until she gets married or something.
See, I'm just trying to offset the effects of oxytocin, the bonding hormone, which comes out when you have sex with someone.
Right.
So that's why I'm saying, if you have sex with two other people, will it dilute the effects of oxytocin?
See, I couldn't tell you because I've never done that.
I'm obsessed with this oxytocin.
I know. We need a woman or a doctor, not just a woman. We need a doctor to tell us about this,
Yeah. I did have a doctor on one time, and I said, we need to find an antidote. And he said he knew of something, but he wouldn't tell me.
Oh, my gosh. He could make a lot of money if he found it.
Well,
if he discovered that
it's
antidote.
probably used for something else, but they don't want to, because then maybe it would take away too many.
Civilization as we know it would
be
ruined.
It would. No, but I would say you could only get it by prescription.
Right.
And it can only be prescribed to you if you're like really hooked on someone, but they're the wrong guy. They're really bad for you, like Charles Manson or whoever. It's like, okay, quick, get her the antidote so she'll forget about him.
Richard Ramirez,
right?
One of those guys.
Yeah, that's why we need it.
Yeah, this is true because women, we're helpless.
Well, that's why you can't have sex with someone until you know who you're dealing with.
I totally agree.
Okay.
I totally agree.
And if they don't want to wait, then goodbye.
Yeah. Good riddance.
All right, on to the next question.
Okay.
What do you have for me, darling?
Oh gosh. Okay.
And then we're gonna call someone else too. She's got another issue.
This is a good one because I have very strong opinions on this one.
Okay.
What's wrong with dating a married man, Miss Lucia? That's page 55.
Besides the fact he's married?
Yeah. What's wrong with dating a married man?
Well, even if a married man does leave his wife, which he rarely does,
right,
you'd never really be able to trust him because he's capable of cheating and lying.
Mm-hmm.
Also, you're wasting your time that could have been spent dating or in a relationship with someone that was available and faithful. People who are married and have problems should be left alone to either work their things out or to go their separate ways without third parties interfering. Now, to quote Angelina Jolie, although I don't believe this anymore, when they asked her whether she was messing around with Brad when he was still married to Jen, she said, I wouldn't be interested in a man that would cheat on his wife. Although she didn't say it like that.
Right. With that faux accent.
Although that's a great line. I wouldn't be interested in a man that would cheat on his wife. And I agree with that. But
there's something about when I find out they're married, just I'm like cold, long, like something closes. I'm a cold fish.
And yet, some women, they're like, oh,
they find it a turn on.
you're married.
Well, they also think of it as sort of a competitive thing, like, if they can get this guy away from their wife. Some women actually feel that way.
That, or they don't really want a commitment, so they think he's the safe person because they can't ever totally have him. Or they're just delusional, and it's like, I don't care, I want him, he's mine, he's hot, I can't get away. I had sex with him, now I'm bonded with him, and I mean, why put yourself through that?
It's just wrong on all counts. Let's just say it like it is.
Yeah, and yet I get letters from women, several letters, and I always tell them off that they're dating a married guy.
I know, I don't know how they can be so naive, or I don't know if naive's the right word, but dumb.
Right, fanciful.
Yeah.
Wishful thinking.
Yeah.
Yeah, because most of the time they do not leave their wife.
Yeah. And I had a friend who had a relationship with a married guy for like 10 years, and then he started seeing someone else, and she was devastated. He added a new girlfriend.
He cheated on his mistress?
Yeah, and she just, how could we, we had this bond. And I'm like, well, didn't he have that same bond with his wife?
Supposedly.
Yeah.
I know.
It's crazy. Women can get so delusional sometimes,
Exactly.
I hate to say
That's why I'm here.
To help.
To disabuse them of their delusions.
Yeah. Dilute the delusion.
Okay. What's next, Miss
More
Kimbra?
questions? Oh, my gosh.
That's what this book is. It's an expert that answers the most asked dating and relationship questions.
Okay. How about this one? What does, and this is page 59, what does I don't want a relationship mean?
There's 2 words missing from that phrase. And when someone says they don't want a relationship, they're leaving out the words with you. I know that's hard to hear, but listen.
That's true.
If someone's really interested, they're not saying I don't want a relationship. Okay. They're not interested in you for the long term, so they use many excuses, including that, they've been badly hurt in the past. I can't have a relationship with you. I'll have sex with you, but I can't have a relationship with you. They're not over their ex, or just a bunch of excuses. So if someone is interested in you, they will rarely say, I don't want a relationship, because they'd be crazy risking you, risk losing you. So I know.
Sounds good to me. I've never had anyone say that, but
Wow, you haven't? We all have. Come on.
I take the 5th.
And the 6th and the 7th and the 8th. So while you're looking for another question from me, I'll just read off some of the questions that I do answer in the book.
Oh, okay.
How do you know when you found the one? Is it true absence make the heart grow fonder? Everyone always asks about that. How do you know if someone really loves you? Is it better to have loved and lost than never to have loved at all?
I think so.
Yeah. Why do I always attract the wrong people? Why is it whenever I like someone, they don't like me, and vice versa? Which I wrote a whole column on that about a couple of weeks ago. What's the fastest way to connect with someone that you've just met? I'll read this one, then I'll call.
And why does it seem like all the men that you were totally the most disinterested in are madly in love with you? And I recently had this guy write me. He wanted to get married to me, and I could.
What?
Yeah, on Facebook, right? Just a friend. And I'm like, I could not have been more disinterested in this guy, And it's just weird. The ones that you seem to not like the most.
Well, didn't you read my newsletter?
Yes, I did.
Well, then you know the answer to that.
Okay.
Did you forget already?
I just thought I'd bring it up.
Oh, okay.
Because it cracks me up,
Well, because just to quickly go over what I wrote in the newsletter, it's about masculine and feminine energies. So when you're not interested in someone, as you said, you don't. There's masculine and feminine energies, like I just said.
Right.
So most men feel best when they are when they feel masculine, when they feel like men, and women feel better when they are feminine and they're in their feminine energy. So what happens when a woman is really interested in a guy? She starts marching over to the masculine side of her personality, and she starts going after him and chasing and calling, and where's this going? And now she's going into her masculine side, which makes the man feel like less of a man. He backs off, and he's not interested. Masculine men are not interested in women who are pursuing them. They want to be the men they want to pursue. The men you're not interested in, you stay in your feminine because you couldn't care less about them, so you're not going over to your masculine side. You're not calling, you're not chasing, you're not wondering where this is going because you don't care. You stay in your feminine. They're attracted to you because you're in your feminine. They get to stay in their masculine. They feel more masculine. They fall in love. End of story.
Et voila.
And we solved yet another
mystery of the world.
That's right. Damn it. I wanted to know what the answer to that was. All right, so why don't you look for another question that you can ask me after I call this girl.
Okay.
Let me see. Oops, I'm calling the wrong number. I called them. All right, I got to figure out how to work this phone thing.
Okay.
This phone thingy. Oh, here, I'm calling the wrong number again. All right, let me hang up. And I will call this number. How's it going over there? Did you find a question for me for later?
I'm looking.
Okay. I know there's a lot of questions. Okay, good. I dialed the right number.
Oh, I got a good one.
Hello.
Hey, is this Angela?
Yes, it is. Hi.
Wonderful. We're on the air.
Oh, wow.
It's
okay.
I know you had a question for me, but let me read your email and then you can ask me whatever you want.
Actually, the question was just going to be about, like, am I going to be on the whole time?
The answer is no.
So I figured no.
The answer is no. Sorry. Okay. So her question is, my boyfriend, see, and she actually, this is a good segue because she wrote in after I wrote that piece about why guys you're not interested in are interested
Masculine
in
and
you,
feminine
blah, blah,
energy.
blah. Yeah.
Mhm.
So she wrote in and she said, my boyfriend recently told me that he loves me in every way, but he's not sexually attracted to me.
Oh.
Ouch.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Well, he recently actually said to me that he has, because, you know, I kind of let him have it. We had a discussion, and we still talk, and we had a discussion about it, sort of, and I said, you know, I don't understand what the problem is, and he said, well, I have a problem, and I just really like young women in their 20s. He said, that's what I like. He said, I'm not a good life partner, and that's pretty much what he said to me, whether it was,
Ouch.
Whatever it was, the truth or making an excuse or whatever, and, he'll go out of his way to do anything for me or give me what I, other things that I might need, sort of. Yeah, but that was kind of cruel. That was kind of cruel.
How old is he?
We're the same age. We're both 43 years old.
And
neither one of us has been married. Neither one of us has any children or, like previous kind of commitments. So.
How old?
He's 43, never been married. Ding, 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 ding.
Yeah.
Red flag.
Yeah, I know. I don't listen to the signs, but okay.
Yeah, there's your problem right there. But yeah, I think it was a lie because if he wanted to date women in his 20s, he wouldn't have been dating you in the first place. So I think it's just an excuse.
Yeah, I agree with you there.
Yeah, but whatever.
Well, the thing is that we have a history. There's like a huge, 3 long years of self-inflicted, painful history.
Wow.
Oh.
Codependency.
And it has to do with his former relationship of his, and I don't know. It's longer than an hour's radio show.
Right.
Let's put it that way.
We ain't got time for all that. Okay,
Right.
Let me read the rest of your email here. Okay, you go, I'm very intense, and though I try to pull back, I always felt like my guy just didn't step up, and I felt like I was always playing male and female roles. I suppose I should have just been patient. Although now hearing it's been 3 years, I don't think patience is what it's called for here. What is a really strong, intense woman supposed to do? I'm a brainiac who used to be a trophy girl, which I got really sick of. I just wanted to not be insecure any longer and have power over my own life, especially where men are concerned. I just can't seem to find the balance. So what do you mean that you're a strong, intense woman?
Well, I'm really honest and truthful. I'm pretty straight from the hip. Like, if you don't want the truth, you shouldn't hang out with me. And I try to be, and I'm not really a bitch about it. It's just that,
Right.
If you ask me a question, I'm going to be honest with you. I won't massage somebody. I'll be kind and I'm tactful, but I'm honest, and I'm very opinionated. I try to keep it to myself, but I usually get to a tone where I somehow sound like I'm hysterical, and I don't know what it is about me that makes me so in that moment. I mean, I get very passionate about things that I feel strongly about, and I try to sort of, say, all right, wait a minute, now you're just sounding hysterical, and there's a way to be passionate and just kind of, be kind of forthright and calm about it, but I never seem to be able to find that balance, and I just feel like it hurts me in a lot of ways, like not just in a relationship, but in all kinds of, other kinds of relationships, and I don't know what to do. I don't know if it's my age and I'm hormonal or what.
Okay, let's not blame hormones and age. Are you a Sagittarius?
I'm a Pisces.
Oh, okay. Because you sounded like me. Because I'm the same. I'm very honest, as Kimber will
Yes, and sometimes I get on her about. I have an aunt who I love very much, and she's a Pisces, and she gave me some good advice. She said you can say anything to anyone as long as you say it with love and kindness, and not just sound too syrupy. But even if you say things with kindness, you can almost say anything. It's always the way you say it. That's just my.
Yeah, I'd have to agree. And also, the thing is like, well, do you meditate?
Yes, I do. I do have sort of a spiritual practice, but the meditation goes right out the window the second I feel very strongly about something. I'm like, okay, that didn't work. I'm not really, I mean, maybe I don't do it enough. I don't know.
Yeah.
I kind of feel like there's just, my mom likes to say that I'm stuck on stupid.
That's not
and
good.
I just can't sort of get out of my own way.
Yeah, because I'm very similar with you. I mean, I love the truth. I'm into the truth, and luckily on the show I can be totally truthful. But that's because I'm not speaking to any one person. But when you're speaking to any one person, I've learned to become more diplomatic as time has gone on, because people are very sensitive, and they get their feelings hurt very easily. And so you really have to look at how you say something. Like Kimber said, you can say whatever you want, but just don't say it in a way that you're trying to hurt them. And, you can't come across like so strong-headed, like, well, this is my opinion, and rah, 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 rah. It's like, it's hard to get along with people that have that attitude. I mean, there's room for everybody's opinion, and not everyone is always going to agree with you.
And remember, some people don't like to hear your opinion unless they ask for it. That's another
Oh, I
thing,
never
too.
give it. I never give it unless it's asked for. That's the thing and I've learned that along the way. I mean, I learned that the hard way. But, I would have to say in the last 5 to 10 years, I've calmed down quite a bit. But if I'm asked, I try to be kind and diplomatic, but then I somehow go, I must sound like I'm going overboard because, I'm one of those people, I'm kind of like, must have this Joan of Arc complex. If I really love somebody and I'll do it for a stranger, but if you're someone I love, if you're someone I care about, I will do anything to defend you. I will do anything to keep you safe, not hurt you, further your career, your dreams and fantasies, because I guess it's kind of the thing that I want for myself. And so I end up becoming that maybe that sort of over motherly, over nurturing kind of, I'm going to be your champion person.
Well,
which is why I feel like a guy sometimes.
Yes.
I'm like, wait a minute, this is what I want my guy to do for me.
right. You can't care about someone's life more than they care about their own life. So if someone isn't taking steps to improve their own life, it's not your job. I mean, you have your own life to take care of. And maybe that's where you're going wrong, and that's maybe why you wrote to me after I wrote the article on the masculine and feminine energies, is like you can't do, guys know they can do it themselves. They want to do it themselves. They want to prove they can do it themselves. And when you try to do it for them, they start to feel like you're their mother, and now they're not attracted to you.
Well, I think that's pretty much what happened in this situation, because we've gone so back and forth. We've gone to like, I can't wait to have sex with you, to, and he actually said, you look like my mother. I was like, oh, that's it. I can't take it any longer. I was like, wow. And down to like, I cut my hair because I was just just down to my physical appearance. And it's not true. It's just that I must have been, I mean, it's just all of those things. Like I guess I've been overly mothering or something. I don't know how to turn the talk back on that one.
Well, women's urge to mother is stronger actually than their urge to have sex, whereas with men it's the opposite. Their urge to have sex is stronger than the urge to father. So you have to temper that urge with, who am I doing it with and why am I doing it? I mean, you can mother a man when he's sick, or you can mother a little boy, but you can't mother a grown man, because then this is what it's going to happen. He's going to be turned off. He's not going to want to have sex with you, and then it's over.
Well, I don't know what to do, like, in terms of finding the balance, because I'm like one of those, I'm a pretty hypersexual person, and I love sex. Excuse me, I don't want to sound crude, but...
Go ahead.
I mean, when we were together, I just couldn't get enough of him, and we just had, when we were having sex, we were having really good sex, and it just somehow, like, totally flipped. I mean, like, in a half a second, and I don't know when I missed that second, because, well, I mean, I love it. I love sex as equally. I'd rather have more sex than nurture you. I'd rather have more time to play than, in a lot of ways. So I don't know where I missed that moment is the point.
Yeah, I don't think it happened in half a second. I think it slowly happened and you didn't realize it happened, then all of a sudden it was there. Because it doesn't just happen overnight.
Yeah.
So I
Boy,
think.
did I miss it.
I think. Well,
Boy, did I miss it.
yeah, I think with the mothering, probably when the mothering started is when the penis started to go down. So if you
great.
can remember to just, stay in your feminine and worry about yourself and let the guy take care of you and let him be the man.
Right.
And
Do you think there's a shot of like even just kind of like going back in the other direction with a relationship that's gone bad? I mean, do you think there's a chance of going back in the other direction? Because this guy, in every other way, makes me very happy. Like,
Right.
he's been the worst person I could ever meet. He like could be the worst guy in my life that I could have ever chosen.
Uh-huh.
And then the best guy. You know what I mean? It's like one of those
usually the
things.
case.
It's sort of like he's made me cry so much
Well,
in the last 3 years, and yet he's made me the happiest I've ever been.
yeah,
You know, in a lot of ways too.
right. Well, see, I mean, cry so much. I mean, the right guy is not going to make you cry.
Exactly, and I'm thinking the same thing too. But I still have a fantasy about it, I guess.
Well, we were just talking about that. I don't know if you were listening. Probably weren't. About women being stuck in fantasy land over someone. I mean, the right guy will not make you cry. I mean, he'll make you cry tears of joy and happiness. But just, but everyone thinks, oh, well, relationships are tough and they're hard. You got to slug it out and you got to cry and it's blood, sweat, and tears. And I say, F that. I can cry by myself. I don't need to be with someone. We were just talking, Kimber and I, that a guy's supposed to make your life better and easier, not make you cry. I mean, there's always a chance since you've had this history, but you need to ask yourself, do you really want to be with him, or do you just want to be with him because you're so used to him and it's comfortable and you don't want to look for someone else? But, I don't like to hear about people crying.
Which brings me to another point. A lot of women
Yeah.
would just rather stay with someone just because they have someone than be alone. And personally, I would rather be alone than be with the wrong person or someone that doesn't make my life better or easier.
Yeah, at least we're not crying.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a couple of weeks. So like even today, I was just thinking about, well, maybe it is better that I'm kind of on my own, because suddenly my life is turning around in a lot of ways. I'm like, okay, maybe that's a sign.
Holla.
So, well, that's good. But you know what? I think, I wouldn't go back right away. I think you should just do your thing, leave him alone, and maybe revisit this from 6 months and see how you feel. Because in 6 months, you may be like, hey, I feel so good. I don't even want to be with this guy. Maybe you might we'll meet someone else.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
And then be back and let me know what's going on.
What's going on?
Totally. Well, thanks so much. I really appreciate it.
Okay, I hope we've been helpful. Gave a lot of
Thank you,
information
you
here.
have. Awesome.
Okay. Take care.
So,
Ciao, ciao.
Ciao.
Bye. I love doing calls.
Evidently.
She was very intense.
Yeah.
As soon as she started talking and she jumped in and wouldn't let me get a word in, I knew what the problem was. It's like, okay, listen, just
Right.
you got to calm down and listen as much as you speak.
Right, sure.
I'm not bashing her. I know she's listening.
Yeah.
If she
That's right. We
hears
have
back.
2 ears and 1 mouth.
That's right. Yeah. So hopefully we gave her some insight and she will.
Yeah, some food for thought.
That's right. We planted a seed, as I like to
Yeah.
say. Planting lots of seeds here, growing lots of trees. Okay. So what question do you have for me?
Okay, I've been looking, and I'm
Mhm.
looking at page 66.
66.
This just reminds me of something my mother does a lot.
Uh-oh.
What does it mean when a woman says that nothing is wrong?
Your mother. Everyone. All women.
No, my mother is the queen of this. Nothing. I'm like,
the queen of
talk,
nothing is
talk,
wrong.
talk. You know?
I know. Okay, yeah. Every woman has done this, and guys hate it.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm here to straighten everybody up.
I can agree. I actually agree with the guys on this one, because if there's something wrong, tell me. Hello.
Yeah.
You know?
Holla.
Yeah, exactly. Shout out.
Okay.
But yeah, how are we gonna know if you don't say it?
Right.
You know?
Well, okay, so here's the reason. Most of the time it means that something is wrong.
Mm-hmm.
She's feeling insecure with something you said or did, but doesn't want to say anything because she doesn't want you to know she's feeling that way.
Mm-hmm.
She usually wants you to drag it out of her.
Exactly.
What's wrong? Nothing. What's wrong? Nothing.
They should know.
Yeah,
what's
you should
wrong.
know why I'm upset.
Yeah.
At other times, she's upset with you for something and wants you to figure out what it is. In either case, she would rather be passive-aggressive than communicate directly.
Exactly. I agree with that.
So the best way to handle this is to give her a hug and a kiss.
Aw.
And tell her if she wants to talk about anything, you're willing to listen.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, if you stay there playing that game like, what's wrong? What's wrong? Nothing. What's wrong? Nothing. I mean, she'll just, because she wants you to do that. She wants you to like pull it out of her.
Right.
Damn it, you're going to have to, I'm pissed at you now. You're going to have to work to get this out of me. So if you show her, hey, I'm not playing this game. I'm here when you want to talk. I love you. Kiss, kiss.
Right.
And that's it.
No, you're right. That does work wonders, especially with women.
Right.
Kiss, kiss, hug, hug.
Yeah, because, one of women's main fears is abandonment. And so they're always afraid that if they, you're going to think that they're crazy because they're upset about this, and so they're afraid to say it. Or they know it's something stupid, but they're still upset and they can't they can't help it.
That's true.
They can't hide it.
That's true, because little things probably bother us more than with men.
Right. Or we put more meaning.
Yeah, put more meaning
into something that maybe means absolutely nothing to them.
We read into things too much, definitely.
Right. Exactly. So that's the reason, guys. Okay, we have time for a few more.
Oh, golly. The pressure's on.
The pressure's on.
Okay, this is not something that I have a lot of experience. Well, maybe I do. Page 67. What does it mean when a woman says, "Don't ever call me again"?
Okay, this is a funny one.
Okay.
Okay, there are times when it means just that.
Okay.
But most of the time, it means you better call me within the hour to apologize.
Oh, yeah, I see what you're saying, yeah.
Yeah, because, I mean, if someone really doesn't want you to call them again, they just won't take your call.
That's true.
Because when I broke up with someone 2 years ago, and I was pissed at him, and I was like, that's it. I didn't call him to say, hey, don't ever call me again.
Right,
I just never spoke to him again.
Right, that's true.
So, usually I find whenever someone is making an announcement, that's not true. Otherwise, they wouldn't need to make an announcement. Like if someone says, well, I'm not happy, well, I'm going to cheat, or, I'm going to do this, I'm going to, you know what, they're probably not going to do it. It's just a threat, an idle threat. They want to see what your reaction is. But it's when someone doesn't speak about what they're doing and they just do it, that's when you know it's real. Like for suicides, just to give an example here, if someone's going to kill themselves, they don't usually announce it. They just do it. So if someone's saying, oh, I'm going to kill myself, it's like, okay, fine.
Boy that cried wolf.
Yeah. So anyways, either way, do not call her. Tough love here. If she really doesn't want to end things, but is just upset about something, she needs to learn to communicate clearly without issuing idle threats. Eventually, she will call. She may not be very happy about it, but she will call.
Yeah, and it's also a person that likes to play games.
Even if just to tell you, why didn't you call me?
Right. Why the heck didn't you call me?
But you said not to call you. I don't care what I said. Damn it. You're supposed to call me.
Right.
Don't you know you're supposed to call me? Even if I tell you not to call me?
Exactly.
How much time do we have?
Yeah, how much do we have time for?
All right, let me pick one.
Okay, you pick one.
When does a woman know if she wants to sleep with a man? Miss Kimbra?
Oh, my gosh. I knew you'd ask me a tough one. When does a woman...
As if you don't know. Are you a woman?
Well, I know usually right away, but I've been confused.
Confused.
I was so confused. I dated this guy that was my boyfriend for like 3 years, and I didn't think I was that attracted to him, to be honest with you, after several dates. And then he kissed me, and I was like, whoa.
Uh-oh.
There was something in that kiss.
He put it on you.
That he put this spell on me. But I seriously didn't think I was ever going to have a relationship with this person, although we were dating,
See, now you've given hope to everybody.
Ooh, I know. That was a weird one. It was like I didn't think he was my type. I enjoyed his company, but when he kissed me, it was like ding, ding, ding.
And then he kissed me.
I know, how corny, huh?
Right, so now everyone's going to be like rushing to kiss their dates to try to get them to...
Well, but that also could work the other way, too, because I've had a guy that on paper, he was like super, you know? And then he kissed me, and I was like, ooh. I mean, it was like the worst kisser in the world.
Right.
And the chemistry just wasn't there, because there is something to chemistry,
there is.
You know what I mean?
It's the taste.
Yeah. So there you go.
Right. So, yes, once in a while you don't know, and then
something
later...
can happen.
Right. However, most of the time, just to let everyone know, usually it's within like 5-10 seconds. You see someone, and you know right away, yes, no, yes, no.
I may be different on that one, though, because I usually don't feel like I want to sleep with them, and then they do something,
Not you want to sleep with them, but you know right away whether you would or you wouldn't.
Oh.
Do you know what I mean? If I lined up 10 guys right now, I'm sure you could go down the line and say yes, no, yes, no. Okay. And I wish I could line up 10 guys right now for me and you. So, although there is the rare exception, as we just mentioned, once a woman has decided she's not interested in a man in that way, there's no amount of expensive dinners, jewelry, or trips that will convince her otherwise.
I totally agree with that.
Yes, she may end up having sex with the man if circumstances are right, i.e. she's been drinking,
Yes.
getting over a
Shots
breakup.
of tequila,
Yeah.
rebound guy.
But that's more the exception than the
Right.
rule, so
Right.
don't count on it.
Exactly.
Well, Miss Kimbra,
Well, Miss Lucia, this
it's
has been a lot of fun.
over.
Oh my gosh.
It's over. I can't believe it. You are really good.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
I've been told.
Ah! And we didn't even do it yet. No.
Oh my gosh. It's not that kind of show.
Yes. Yeah, you're a great co-host.
Oh,
yeah,
thanks.
I totally felt the connection.
Oh, chemistry. We had chemistry.
Yes, we do. Well, that's why we're friends too. Otherwise,
This is true.
You know?
Because I can tell her to F off sometimes and she takes it.
she called me a Nazi the other day.
Yeah, I know. I felt bad about that.
And I
but
said, "What you talking about?"
she was
I'm
being
not
kind
a
of a Nazi.
I was not.
She was being uber controlling. You
Uber.
know?
That's a Nazi word. No, it's because I was uber busy and I
That's
didn't
right.
want to
She
talk.
was getting straight to. She didn't do the love and kindness thing that I told you about.
I said it to you in a very nice way.
Yeah, right.
I said,
You're like,
"Well, I'm."
it's either yes or no. Dang it.
Damn it. Okay. So, all right. So, if you want to get this wonderful book, Lucia's Lessons of Love.
Yeah, don't forget about Lucia's Lessons of Love. You can get it on the internet.
Yes, at lessonsoflove.net.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, I get my I have my weekly newsletter at theartoflove.net, which Kimbra can attest is a wonderful newsletter.
Mm-hmm. I get it. Do I get it on Facebook? I don't remember. I do. Right?
You get it in your
Oh,
mailbox.
gosh, sorry, my regular email.
Yeah, your regular email.
Duh.
And I'd like to thank my other guests, of course, Kim from Florida and Angela from LA. And until next time, remember that love inspires, empowers, uplifts, and enlightens.
You're listening to The Art of Love with your host, Lucia, right here on LA Talk Radio.